What's going on, guys? Jerry Seinfeld here, host of Jerry Yap. We got another off angle today, man. I know I said in the earlier ones I was going to have a couple mainline episodes lined up, but as it turns out, I am struggling with one of the games right now. I'm close to the end. I want to beat it. I want to upload my gameplay. So today, if you've read the title, you would know that it's an interesting one because I tried Vanguard Zombies for the very first time the other day. I played Darren Fong. One playthrough. That's all I've done. I just try to do as much as I can, try to explore as much as I can. Just on the one map, just to get a first initial thought on the map itself, Darren Fong, and Vanguard Zombies as a whole. I know that this experience of zombies is not liked by a lot of the community. Although there is a group of a very minor group of people that do enjoy Vanguard Zombies. That's just, the objective based zombies player versus the round based zombies player, essentially. I am usually more of a round based guy myself. I tried Outbreak on Cold War when that was out. Didn't really care for it. I didn't give it a really fair chance. I will be visiting it again in my playthrough that I do of that. So eventually we'll review it again. But that's really the only objective-based zombies I've played besides, this first playthrough of Vanguard. I have not touched MW3 Zombies. I haven't even bought that game. I won't buy that game unless it goes on sale for dirt cheap so I can play the campaign because that's all I really want to do on that game. That game is a disgrace. It never should have happened, but that's a whole different topic for a different story. We are talking Call of Duty Vanguard, which I do eventually plan on reviewing. I'm going to play the whole campaign through. I played a little bit of the multiplayer, and I actually do kind of like the multiplayer, This game's had a couple free weekends, and I've tried one of them out a long time ago, and I didn't really care for it, but I don't know, man. It's a pretty solid World War II game as far as that goes. I know this was a project of COVID. This was a work from home, rushed project. They had to just get out. Unfortunately, that's what it seems like Sledgehammer games all are unfortunately just rush projects, which really sucks, man. I'd love to see them be able to take the reins on something they have, the budget for and have the time to develop on their own terms, and maybe we could get something pretty sweet out of them. But as far as all their projects go, there's not a bad one. I mean, I do like them all to some degree, but I know it's off topic. Let's just get into fucking Dare on Fong here, and then I will let you guys know my thoughts on it initially. I don't plan on this to be super long. Like I said, I'm just trying to buy time for myself to play the game I'm playing and finish it through. It's a little harder than I anticipated and remember doing, but it'll be worth it in the end. I trust you. So, also, actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'll just talk about it at the end if I want to. But yeah, let's get off the intro here and we'll move into Vanguard Zombies. Okay, so let me just mention the very first time I booted this game up, I saw obviously the Call of Duty HUD like they do now with the modern Warzone and shit. And then I clicked on the zombies menu and I just knew right away that it was a rush job. You can just tell they basically took all of the stuff from Cold War as far as, the field upgrade is the same. Pre-customizing a weapon is the same. Bringing a weapon into the game, which I never really liked from Cold War. But yeah, it shares those mechanics. There's a couple new mechanics, but yeah, right from the get-go, I could just tell loading this game up. You could just tell it's rushed, which is fine. I know, like I said before, this is a COVID rush job game that Activision just threw on the devs. You can just tell, man. You can actually just tell. So Treyarch, they just kind of whip something up that maybe they can work off later, and you can just tell that's what it is. So going into this, I'm going to keep an open mind, thinking, this isn't exactly what they wanted to do. And with what they were given, I think it's pretty decent. All right. It's pretty decent. So I basically just chose the healing aura. I know a lot of these are similar, but I went with healing aura and I went with a Thompson. I had a couple attachments for this thing. I think it was from when I played Warzone 1 way back, with the Vanguard integration. Maybe I got some levels there. I don't know how this thing was leveled. Maybe a little bit from multiplayer. So I slapped a few attachments of what I could on it and brought it with me, man. So you spawn in to like the central hub, and that's pretty much where most of the game takes place. Well, actually, all over the place. I'm just gonna say really quick. I have no idea what's going on in the story. This story has something to do with I don't know, pre like everything. Like this was the first, which isn't that what Darren Fang means? It's like the beginning or whatever. So it's kind of just like takes place before everything, so it's not really relevant. Kind of does like the Dark Ether storyline thing. And man, this is literally just one map with a bunch of cobbled together multiplayer maps. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Stalingrad, like the central hub, is a multiplayer map. I know the hotel place you teleport to is a multiplayer map. You teleport to Shino Numa on this map. And then like one more place. I can't remember what it is though, off the top of my mind. I do have my gameplay here. I'm gonna watch as well as I talk about this. But yeah, this is not a review of the map in its entirety. I will do that later. But this is just my like first initial thoughts and gameplay. I know there's a lot to the map I gotta learn and whatnot as well. So that'll come in a later date. I just needed to shit out a quick off-angle episode really quick, to be honest with you, while I'm between finishing games here. So that's what we're going to do, man. Yeah, you spawn into Stalingrad, which is the central hub. Right off the rip, you already have some annoying asshole on your intercom just talking to you. What's his name? Like, his name, I don't even know. His name is like Gabriel Kraft or something. So right off the rip already, like the bullshit operators and stuff, like, dude, take off the subtitles and get the portrait out of there. Like, why is that a thing? Dude, I miss when Zombies was like immersive. The HUD is like so riddled in this game, especially like with a mini map. Like, why the fuck is there a mini map on Zombies, bro? Like, take that shit away. I know there was like the thing with Cold War and stuff too. You could turn off like the hit numbers and the health bars on Cold War, which I appreciated. But for some reason, you can't do that on Vanguard. It doesn't let you turn off the hit numbers. Like, I'm not fucking playing Apex Legends, bro. I don't care about damage numbers in Zombies. I don't want that at all. The Margwa never had damage numbers. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I hate that in this game. And the fact that like there's all these, what I will say is like the design of the demons and like their fountains or whatever is actually pretty cool. I do like that concept a lot. However, like, why the fuck are there demons on my intercom like talking to me like there's some sort of soldier? I don't know. The whole thing is just so weird. But yeah, just to summarize, like the HUD is just way too cluttered in this game. There's so much going on your screen. I wish you could turn off some of the features. I wish you could turn off subtitles. Wish you could turn off damage numbers. Wish you could turn off the health bars. Wish you could turn off the portrait of the character that's talking pops up. Wish you could turn off the mini map. Wish you could turn off the compass in the top. Wish you could turn off the waypoints of like where it says purge and transmit and all that shit. It's just too cluttered, man. Like, it's just Zombies to me was always about like the minimal HUD, and letting the gameplay itself speak for you. It feels like they're trying to just hold my hand through the entire map, which I don't know if that changes. I don't know if that's just a Darren Fong thing, but I have a feeling it's not gonna, or the rest of the maps are gonna be the same. So unfortunate. So let me just say, okay, map aside, mechanics aside, all of that. I guess I know you have the objectives to do on the map, which they progress like how hard it is, and then there's like the Shino Numa part where you can stay indefinitely and just keep like getting rounds until you want to go back. Like, I just don't really understand like what we're doing here. Like, what's the purpose? I just like that's just like the part of objective-based zombies I don't understand. Like, why, if you want to progress higher rounds and make the game harder, like, why do we have to do all this other bullshit than just kill zombies and end the round that way? I get that it's like it's kind of a different twist on Zombies. Like, I guess it's supposed to make you feel like there's always something to do and something to progress. But at the same time, like, I just miss going to like round 30 or 40 off the rip without having to worry about anything else on the map to do. That's where the polar opposite is going to come in. Some people like that. Some people don't like that. It is what it is. So let me just say something about the objectives really quick, and then I'll get into what they are. Objectives, like, they're actually they weren't bad. You know, the first couple times you do them, you're like, okay, shit, let's do this. All right, sure, let's do this. Let's push this. Let's capture this. Let's kill these guys. Sure. But then the problem where the problem lies is within the repetitiveness of the missions. You're essentially doing the same ones over and over and over and over again throughout the entire map. That it gets stale so quickly. You know, maybe if they were in different parts of the maps, you know, maybe if like there was one that took place in like the central hub, you know, zombies you got to kill in the central hub, or maybe in like the Shino Numa part, there's like like a you know, the ones you have to stand on. It's just like there's no variety to this shit. They made 5 different things and you just do them over and over and over again. So yeah, let's get into all of them, man. There's Blitz, which Blitz is like the most normal take on one of the challenges. You basically just hold off in like a closed off area for a certain amount of time, and then once you survive the timer, that's all done. There's Harvest, which basically you have to fight off zombies in like a sectioned off area. The zombies drop rune stones. You have to deposit 5 rune stones in this little pillar thing. You do that 3 separate times, and then you're done. There's Transmit, which is basically kind of like Payload. You basically just transmit this floating zombie head with this like crazy rune thing going across it. You just have to escort it from one side of this place to another, and then you're done with that. Purge is basically you just cap these little zones. There's like these 20 circles that are on the ground. If you cap them all, then you congratulations, you get done with it. But if you don't cap them all, then you get like a slap on the wrist or something. What even happens? I didn't even realize what happened. You fail, I guess, and you don't get like a crystal or whatever the upgrade shit is. And then there's Void. Void is okay. Void is the one where you go to Shino Numa and just play there indefinitely. Like it just knew it. It feels like they knew it was gonna do so bad that they just had to make Shino Numa and throw it in this map. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's just tragic, man. It's just a bunch of different fucking assets from Call of Duty just stapled together to make one experience that's just in at the end of the like it's just not that great. I'm gonna give it a little more time. Maybe I'm being too hard on it. Maybe there is something great on this map that I've yet to discover, but you know, I've yet to find it. So that's all the objectives there. Or my bad, there's one more. There's a sacrifice. Sacrifice, there's basically like this little totem pole kind of thing. Zombies will run up to it and try to sacrifice themselves to it. If it gets a certain amount of sacrifices, then it breaks and you have to, and then you lose one of them. There's typically like 3 in a given certain part of the map that you have to defend. And then once you defend them all, that's really it. You can lose a couple of them, and as long as one stands, you'll still beat it. So that's it. That's all the objectives. I will say I like doing the objectives to like open up the map, right? I do like that a lot. I like the idea of map progression through doing objectives instead of buying the doors, you know? That's not bad. I really don't mind that. However, the problem lies with the fact that you have to keep doing the same objectives just to get upgrades. And it just doesn't like that's how you get most of your money, and I don't know, dude. It doesn't feel like fun or rewarding, you know what I mean? Like I would like I don't know. Like how I'm gonna play this map in the future, if I do come back to it multiple times, I'm just gonna play for Shino Numa and just try to survive there because I feel like, and it's not even all of Shino Numa, by the way. It's just like the middle building and the downstairs. That's it. You can't go into the other branching off maps. You can't do it at all. So that's it, man. Like that's really all there is to this map. There's the objectives. There's Shino Numa. There's the central hub, and then there's like the upgrade stations, which I'll briefly talk about now. Okay, so this is part of the Vanguard experience that I did actually like. The first upgrade thing is called the Altar of Covenants. This basically, you get hearts from doing the objectives, and what the hearts do is they let you buy these things. And what these things are just like a little bit of extra perks, like just a bunch of extra perks to kind of, you know, change your gameplay experience, which I actually do like. I really think this is a really cool thing to throw in the game. It kind of makes it so you can kind of play the game differently every single time. You various upgrades to your character, which is cool. And then the other one is the Tome of Rituals, which is basically just an upgrade station for your field upgrade. I did upgrade this in my game. I can't remember what it does. It's basically just the Cold War thing, except you don't upgrade your perks in the menu. You upgrade them, or your field upgrades in the menu. You upgrade it in game, which it's different. It's a different change, but I kind of like it. It's something to do in the game, so I actually don't mind it. Okay, so we got to talk about the enemies that they have in this. So they have normal zombies, right? Normal zombies everybody knows and loves. Like, that's fine. That's great. There's this Sturmkrieger guy. I can't remember what his name is, but he's a zombie with a gun. He's bigger. He's like a bigger boss, which I actually don't mind this guy. He's not too bad. I'll talk a little about what I don't like about him later. There's like the flying tempest like thing. I have no idea what the hell it's called. I can't remember it for the life of me, but it's kind of like a tempest. It just kind of shocks you and does damage from a distance there. Then there's the little, what the fuck are they called? I don't know what they're called, but like they're like the red crystal guys that run up and explode. That's really it. I think there's just 4 different types. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that's it. Not really too bad. I think the gun guys are overspammed a little too much, in my opinion. So let me just talk about the perks, and then after the perks, I'm just going to talk about what I like and dislike about the game or the map in its entirety after that. So the perks, they're called demonic fountains in this game, or demon fountains, which I actually really like. I think that's a really cool concept. I don't know how I feel about buying them multiple times to upgrade them further. I kind of like it, but at the same time, I also kind of don't. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that. I really can't decide where I land on that. But there's 5 perks in the game, or I don't know if there's new ones in the other maps, but there's 5 perks in Daron Fang, and they're decent. One is Juggernog, Fiendish Fortitude. Every time you buy it, oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that you have to buy them multiple times. I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, every time you buy it, it's a little more expensive too. But when you go down, this is the part I actually really like. When you go down, you lose a tier of the perk. You don't actually lose the perk itself, which is great. That's one of the things I hate about zombies the most, is having to revive and buy all your perks again. You actually spawn in with a free quick revive in this game too, or a free self-revive, I should say. I wish you could turn it off though, because I'm pretty much done playing when I get downed. Like, I don't want to continue on. I'm a fan of the one and done kind of play style here, but yeah, let's talk about all the perks. There's Fiendish Fortitude. It's basically Juggernog. Every time you buy this, your health just gets a little larger, which is good. Obviously, more health in zombies is very good. We have Venomous Vigor. This one's similar to Quick Revive, I would say. This basically just regens it's like Cold War Quick Revive. It regens the amount of health speed, like how fast it speeds up when you're damaged and when you're not being damaged anymore. Every time you buy it, it goes a little faster, so it's not that bad. We have Diabolical Damage, which is very good. This perk is actually pretty sick. It's like Cold War Deadshot, where it increases critical damage, right? So headshots. Really, really nice to have. It makes guns feel actually pretty solid and useful in this game, which I actually do like. So that's not bad. I do like that perk. Demonic Frenzy, classic speed cola, same exact thing. Every tier you buy lets you reload your guns a little faster, so it's a very good perk to have. And then the last one is Ethereal Haste, which is basically just stamina up. Every time you buy a tier of this, you get a little faster, which it's honestly at tier 5, it feels so broken, or tier 4, whatever the max is. I believe it's 4. It feels so strong, dude. You move so fast when you have Ethereal Haste level 4. So, yeah, that's all the perks. I will say, I love the way they did perks in Vanguard, man. I really like the Demon Fountains. I think it's a cool concept. They could be tuned a little better to be less overpowered, I think. But there's only 5 of them, and you can have all 5 at the same time, which is really cool, which is really nice. You're not capped to the 4 perks like you normally are. Like I said, runs off the Cold War system, so you can have multiple perks. which is nice. You know, the perks are one of the good parts of Vanguard and Daron Fong, I will say. So I don't hate the perks at all. So that's really everything, man. We touched on the characters a little bit. Not really. Actually, I feel like they're all kind of the same. The characters are just like meh. They're just like whatever. I don't really want to invest in the story. I'll probably look into it more when I'm like done with the actual four, but I don't know when I'm going to be done playing all of the Vanguard Zombies maps. To be honest, I still got to catch up with the regular series with Mob of the Dead and whatnot, but that's at a later date. We talked about the perks. We talked about the map. We talked about. Oh, I don't think there's a wonder weapon, right? I rolled the box forever on this map, and I did not come across a wonder weapon different from the ray gun, which I did end up getting out of like a little scavenge thing. Uh, but yeah, I don't think there's a wonder weapon on this map, which sucks. Obviously, we love new wonder weapons. This one doesn't have one, so that just sucks, unfortunately. Yeah, but let's just get into my dislikes, man. What do I do first? Dislikes or my likes? Uh, Maybe I'll do the dislikes first, and then we'll end on some likes here. Okay, well let's do that. All right, I'm gonna kick this thing off by just touching on a couple things that I might have already talked about, but yeah, I don't like the objectives, man. They get stale after playing them once. They really do. There's just no replayability to the objectives. It's the same things over and over and over and over again. Um, Not enough variety to these at all. So the point system, I know this is like a Cold War problem as well, but I miss when you could just buy like an SMG and just like shred for points. You know what I mean? Like the on kill point system is just like, at least it incentivizes you to get headshots, I guess, because you get more points for headshots, but it's whatever. Point system, I just wish they would go back to the old one, man. Uh, it's just, it just hits way different, you know? Uh, it's not, it's like somewhat round based, right? That's what I don't like. This game, like when you go to Shinonuma, the small part of it that's in the game, it is round based, but the entire game, it'll only progress if you do the objectives, which is just dumb, you know? It shouldn't be like that. You should be able to, you know, progress how you want to, but I get it. They're trying something a little different here, so it's whatever. The gun zombie. We got to talk about the gun zombie. I think as a solo threat, him being a little tankier, I like him. You know, I really do like him. The problem is they start spamming the ever living fuck out of this character. I think it would have been way cooler if there was just like maybe a couple of them that were stronger. It just would have been a way cooler experience if there wasn't that many of them. And some Cold War maps kind of suffer from this as well. The boss spam is just way too much. Um, it would have been I would have been okay with them making him like even stronger if there was just a lot less spawns of them. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be something that is just spammed at you. So yeah, the gun zombie, I just don't really care for it. You know, the map. We got to talk about the map. The map. It's just a bunch of different COD shit stapled together. You know, it's multiplayer maps stapled together. It's Shinonuma just slapped in there for no reason. You know, I'm Call of Duty's no stranger to like reused assets, especially in the early games. Like Ascension is one that comes to mind. Ascension was used for a zombies map, a multiplayer map, and a part of the campaign, right? So by definition, it's a reused asset. But I feel like each part of where it's used, being campaign, it's very different. In multiplayer, it plays a lot different. In Ascension, it plays completely different. You know, even though it's all the same map. It just doesn't feel like that on Vanguard. It really just feels like everything's slapped together with teleporters between them, you know? So uh, that's just the map. That's a big dislike there. The box. We got to talk about the mystery box because it's got that Cold War effect kind of where it just feels fucking pointless to fucking hit the mystery box, you know? On my playthrough, like the very first gun I got out of the crate, out of like a salvage crate, was the ray gun. So there's like literally zero purpose for me to hit the box, especially when I can build a gun and bring it in exactly how I want it to. There's just literally 0 point to hit the box, you know? It just sucks, and that's just part of the mechanics that caused that. The riot shield is in the box. Like, why the fuck is there a riot shield in zombies? Somebody please fill me in on this. Why would you ever want a shield in zombies? What does that bring? Especially when it replaces one of your weapons. Like, why would you ever want a riot shield in zombies, dude? So that's another small dislike I have there. The sprint level 4, I mentioned it earlier, but it's just way too OP. It makes the game way too easy. You can just run insanely fast anywhere you want to go. So very, very strong. And then, like, let's talk about max ammo drops. Max ammo drops aren't even needed in this game because every fucking enemy you kill just drops clips. It drops ammo. It really feel like they made this game for like, you know, it's a World War II game, right? So maybe a bunch of old vets are trying to get into Call of Duty or something, and then they try zombies out for the first time, and it's like an easy experience where there's stuff to do on it. You know, it kind of feels like that's what they were going for. It really does. They weren't trying to cater towards the typical like round-based zombies audience. It really felt like they were trying to capture like a different, maybe older audience or people that haven't really played zombies, but maybe want to try to get into it or something. It just feels like that's what they're trying to do with it. So that's a more majority of my dislikes. I could go on and on. Like the fucking hit. Like the fact that you can't turn off the mini map is a huge problem for me. You can't turn off health bars and damage numbers, even though in the previous game you literally could do that. You can do that in Cold War if you don't like it, which I do like. The fact that you're able to turn them off in Cold War, but for some reason that feature's just gone in Vanguard, I guess. Maybe something they overlooked because they were trying to ship this game out. I understand it, but it's just like, dude, I'm not playing Destiny 2. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fucking cycle a boss where I got to see his health bar and his damage numbers. Like, I'm not playing Apex. I'm not playing Destiny. I don't need to see that shit in zombies. I just don't like it. It adds more unnecessary clutter to the HUD, which I just don't really like. So yeah, that's it, man. You can say what you want about like. I don't really like the demon characters too much. I like the way they're designed. I just don't like the fact that they talk to you like you're a fucking squad, like you're Task Force 141. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very odd. So we'll get into some of my likes now. The demon fountains, man. I do like the fact that they did something different. Instead of a perk cola that you drink, it's a demon blood fountain, which you kind of like. I don't know. It just fits the vibe. I really like it. I'm kind of on the fence about upgrading the perks still, though. I do like the fact that it feels like there's always more to buy with the perks. And I like the fact that you can have all 5 on the map at once, which is pretty nice. The perks are like different and they're cool and unique. They, they touch on stuff we liked in the past with perks, but kind of just putting their own twist on them, which I actually like. So we'll fuck with that. I like the fact that there's World War II guns, man. I know it's a World War II game, so people are indifferent about that. I like the fact that we're using some World War II guns for a change. So this is something to mention really quick. I like the fact that there's no weapon tier system like there is in Cold War, with like the red, the one you bring in, then it goes from like green, blue, purple, and then gold for best. I like the fact that they went away with that. It makes salvage is now just used for like crafting like monkey bombs and tactical equipment and stuff like that, which is nice. It's not bad. I hate the fact in Cold War you have to like just save all of your salvage if you want to get your first gun that you bring in upgraded all the way. It's just slightly annoying, but I know they wanted to add some sort of progression feeling to like your weapon in zombies, so I'm okay with it for the most part. But I like the fact that it's not in this game. The Altar of Covenants, it's something different. It's something interesting. Same with the other upgrade station. I can't remember what it's called right now, so I'll just lump them together. Both of them are pretty cool. They add a little bit of different things you can do in your gameplays from now on, which I actually do like. It's not too bad. I got a ray gun from the weapon crate, which this could either go from likes or dislikes. It could go either way. Like, sure, it's cool that it happened, but it's like, okay, that's so random. Like, it's just like, okay, here's something to carry you through the map, right? In the first second of the game. It's like, okay, making it a little too easy there. Opening the map through objectives for the first time. I actually do like that. If the objectives were only to open up the map and then it was round based after that, like it would have been so much better, man. Because the objectives would have been cool to do one time in each playthrough. I would have liked that, but doing them over and over again is it's just bad, you know. But as far as opening the map through the objectives, I actually do like that, you know. I like the idea of the world getting harder. Like it's a cool concept, right? I don't know. Just doing objectives to do it is just not really it, in my opinion. I like the fact that the pack a punch, there's no intricate pack a punch process like transit or anything like that. It's a little boring that the pack a punch is right there for you to access right off the rip, and it's got the same Cold War system where there's 3 tiers to it. Uh, and the Pap camos look great, so I'll say that the Pap camo is pretty decent. But I do like that there's no long and egregious pack a punch process. Although, on the other hand, it's boring that it's just right there. So there needs to be some sort of middle ground between like getting the pack a punch and not just having it right off a rip like that. The boss zombies, they're pretty cool. They're spammed a little too much, but I think their design is pretty cool. And then the last thing I have here is that the gut shot is a cool gun. I think the gut shot is like a combat shotty. Feels really fucking powerful, especially with the crit perk. This thing destroys bosses, man. I had this thing at like level 2 pack a punch, and it's very, very strong. So, yeah, that's really it for my likes and dislikes for one playthrough, guys. That is it. Like, that's all I'm really gonna mention. That's all I can really say. First ever playthrough of Vanguard Zombies. It does leave a lot to be desired. Like I said, maybe something in the other maps will capture me. I know there's only like 3 or 4 of them, so. This game, unfortunately, it's just a rush job at the end of the day. And, for them having to get this out the door, I would say, yes, it does leave a lot to be desired. Yes, there could have been things they did a lot better, but as far as trying to achieve a different experience from round-based zombies, like, they definitely did it, It's just not great, unfortunately. But that's really it for Vanguard, man. That's all I'm going to mention on my initial playthrough there. That's all I'm going to talk about. Next week, we should be back with another mainline episode that I'm going to finish up the game this week, too. So that'll be fun. Let me just mention what I'm playing really quick, as I always do. Playing a little bit of X-Defiant. Not really, though. Just maybe sometimes I get on and do the dailies to, just play it a little bit, but it's not that really interesting. I'm just kind of waiting for Season 1. Playing some Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 just had Season 11 swap over, and it's pretty fun. A lot of the balance changes are pretty cool. The creator patch is pretty cool in the arcade as well. The new map, Runasapi, is very cool too. Need to put a little more time into it, but I'm liking it so far. And Fallout, dude. This is the one game I have not been able to put down. You guys would have had another mainline episode if it wasn't for Fallout 4. I am really, really liking my playthrough of Fallout 4, man. This is a game I shit on way too hard when it came out, when I was comparing it to New Vegas and 3. But it's fun, man. It's fun. And I'm getting kind of close to being done with the base game here, so maybe I'll talk about that later. But yeah, man, playing a lot of Fallout 4. So that's the reason we're talking Vanguard Zombies today, is because of Fallout 4. That's been having all of my time lately, man. I've been kind of speeding through a fucking playthrough of that, and I've been using guns as well. Which I normally go for a melee build, but this time I went for a gun build. Pretty fun, man. Pretty fucking fun. So, yeah, that's it, man. I appreciate if you disagree with me on something on Vanguard, or if I missed something, please put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of Vanguard. I know there's a lot of Vanguard likers. I'd like to hear your opinion, too. I know there's a lot of Vanguard haters. They're very, very loud in the community. We hear you, man. But so far, map 1 game played. I don't know when I'll come back and do the rest of them, but this is just I wanted to get my initial thoughts on Vanguard out in the world here. So that's what they are. I think it's decent. We'll see how it holds up with multiple playthroughs, but one playthrough, not too bad. So that's it. Jerry Apps signing out here. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Goodbye. And just enjoy the rest of your day, okay? Goodbye.